Well, that's gonna about do it for high moisture corn here. We are out. All the corn that we have left is dry corn now, and it is down into the low 20s for moisture. We're gonna get this high moisture corn in this bunk covered. We've got a little bit more to combine. That's gonna go in that silo there. Sarge is unloading the load right now, and we've got maybe 6 or 8 more loads to put into it, and then that is gonna be it, and we'll be on to dry corn. Alex just took the first load to Genoa here a little while ago of dry corn, and that's where the rest of our corn will end up going. We've got some corn that's down into the teens as well, and we'll get after it. I probably better put the camera down, right guys? Get on it. The wind's just starting to pick up now.
Oh yeah.
It was calm all morning. Yeah. You ready to cover the bunk?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah? Yeah. All right, we are actually covering this with 2 tarps, only because we had this piece left over from when we covered this up when it rained. This cover here is just a standard piece of 5mm plastic, white on one side, black on the other. When we use this plastic, we usually put what's called a vapor barrier underneath it, which is this clear piece of plastic here. That's what we have on this bunk here, which is first cutting. This plastic here has the vapor barrier in it, so we have double protection, right boys? And this stuff here has like string fibers in it. It's real tough. I don't even think you could chew this apart with your teeth, could you? But this is real tough stuff. You can actually walk on this with logger boots, which usually these guys are wearing logger boots when they're covering the bunk. Except that guy, you don't have a heel, do you? No, you're almost flat-footed like me.
Almost.
But that guy there's got a big heel, and it usually punctures the plastic a little bit, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, which is not good.
So
So this stuff's a lot tougher, but it's also a lot more expensive. This is made by the company Raven, and we use this on the bunks that we're going to be covered for a longer amount of time. It's called Feed Fresh. A lot of guys are using it, and it's made right here in the good old USA. Unlike this Chinese stuff. This stuff made in China here. So we better get going. We've got cut tires there to go on, and I am walking around with the camera again. Gotta put that down. Make sure you don't fall off the back of the bunk there, Sarah. So far, the wind has kind of calmed down a little bit. Well, just after I said that, it gusted up again. Why don't you go down there and pull that corner? So we'll get this overlapped here pretty good, and then we can start throwing tires on. It's going to be an easy task with these cut tires here. Yeah, get another bucket load for here, and then probably the rest just come up the bunk with them. Okay, they just rolled out the last sheet of plastic, and what we're using is these cut sidewalls, cut tires. These are all 22 5s, And we ended up buying 3 semi-trailer loads of tires here this fall. And the 3rd load was delivered here, a week or 10 days ago. And what they do when they cut these, they end up putting these bands on them. And we have to cut them off as we start to use them here. I don't know what I'm gonna do as far as storing these tires, but for right now, this is where they're stacked at. We'll eventually figure out something. There is an attachment that you can get for the payloader that actually it's called a tire shooter. Alright, we've got this all covered up, and everybody remain to stay clean. Oh yeah. Well, this is the last piece of high moisture corn that we have for 2021. We got the bunk covered here a little while ago, and we've only got like, I don't know, 7 or 8 acres left in this one field. We started this field back on the 28th or the 25th of October. We got a lot of rain. We actually worked on the combine over in the corner of the field over there. It's when the front drive line broke on my green truck. We were in this field here, and we ended up getting a buttload of rain, and we had to actually pull out of here, and we had to go someplace else just because it was just too wet here. And now we're back here some 11 days later, and the corn is about 4% percentage points drier here now than when we were in here 11 days ago. So we've got about as much as we can get on that grain buggy. We've got a truck loaded over beside the road. I don't know why I'm shutting this combine off, but we've got a truck loaded over by the side of the road, and we're hoping that another one gets here relatively quickly because we need to keep after it. Alex has did her 2nd load of dry corn, and she is on her way in with that. I want to get this done so that we can start loading trucks with dry corn to go to Genoa. So you can see this is kind of wet right here. We do have a fair amount of tile in this field. There's an outlet over there beside the road. There's actually 3 outlets in this field, and we have them marked with them metal T-posts with a piece of yellow drainage tile over the post. So there's yeah, I don't know, we got one over there. There should be one about where that sign is, and then there's another one back in behind us. So we've got some sprayer tracks here that we're kind of contending with. We're almost in the same track as those are, so we're having to fight it here a little bit. We've got a neighbor here. Nah, he's not really a neighbor. He's a few miles away. He's got tracks on his combine, and he's complaining a little bit about the conditions that he's dealing with. So we might have to hurry up and get done with corn and go and give him a hand with the old 9560 with the wheels on it here, or the tires rather. So we're up onto some drier ground right now. This corn's running right in the high 20s for moisture, and 11 days ago it was in the high 30s. So the corn's definitely drying down. This was a dual purpose variety. In other words, we could have took this for silage or grain corn. The rest of the corn that we have left was mainly grain specific corn, and the moisture on that's in the high 20s. on the stuff that we're, I'm sorry, the low 20s for what I combined here last night. I ended up filling 2 of the Freightliners with dry corn, and Alex is on her way in with the second load right now. So we want to get this piece here done so I can load up a couple more loads to go into Genoa grain tomorrow. So we'll join back up with you once we get this piece here done. Hopefully we don't get stuck. Here's some ruts from back when I opened this field up. All I was able to do is get the headlands done, and then we ended up parking for the night. Came back here that next morning, and that's when I broke the CV joint going to the front wheel on my green truck. We're actually working on it over on that far corner of the field over there, right in one of the access driveways here. We'll get it lined back up to the row here. Had to bounce across them ruts, and we'll get it back shelling off some corn. This corn's pretty decent. And we better have a truck showing up here pretty quick, because the last thing I want to do is be waiting. That is the second load of corn right there that we've shelled off here today. And by the time there is a truck pulling in here, we're going to have another load made up between what's on the grain buggy and what is on the combine here. So we're coming into somewhat of a wet spot here right now. There's a rock that they missed with the skid steer. My father planted this, so that was planted with a 6-row planter. That's why there's only 6 rows that are skipped there. And we're having to do a little maneuvering with the brakes here and some fancy steering wheel work, but we're getting it done. It was actually wetter in here before we got the rain than after we got it. Well, and then we're in here almost 12 days later. This is a channel, what is this variety? It's a 203 something or other. And this corn here, we could have took it off for silage corn, but it ended up being that we didn't need as much silage, so we're taking it off as grain, and that's why it's somewhat higher in moisture. It's dried down about 6 to 8 points from where it was here 10, 11, 12 days ago. So we've got a couple of loads left in here to do. I ended up loading a couple of trucks up here last night with dry corn, and Alex has been working on getting those 2 loads into Genoa grain here. She actually didn't take off till a little later on this morning, and you can see that, you know, we've kind of made some tracks here over to the left of us, and we're having to fight just a little bit to kind of stay on the row, but you know what, it's not bad. We're coming into the headlands here now, and when we did the headlands on this field, you can actually see we've left quite a few tracks in here when we were doing the first 4 or 5 times around the field. So we've got a truck on the edge of the field that's just about loaded, and we're gonna have to get a couple more trucks in here in order to finish it. We're using the brakes here a little bit to stay on the row. We're obviously running in 4-wheel drive as much as we can. The only problem with running in 4-wheel drive is it slows your ground speed down a little bit, but we're still been able to manage running at 3.5 to 4 miles an hour. At least we're able to keep moving here. We've used four-wheel drive quite a bit this year to shell corn, and it's kept us moving. So we're sliding a little bit, right on the brakes here pretty hard, coming off the row, back on the row, off the row. Now we're back on again. So it would probably help if we had some better tires on the back of the combine. We ended up putting some new tires on the front here 2 years ago, and we're actually running radials on the front, and they do a lot better than the bias tires that used to be on the combine. The bias tires, they acted almost like a beach ball. They were real round on the bottom, and didn't have a more square or flatter surface to them. In these radial tires, they put more surface of the tire on the ground, whereas the bias, they're shaped, you know, they're round shaped, and it's like trying to spin a beach ball. So we got through that wet hole. We're just gonna keep on keeping on here, and we'll be into some dry corn here later this afternoon. The dry corn all has to go to Genoa grain, but it should work out pretty good. Better make sure I lift up over this stone. And we'll join back up with you in a little while here. for high moisture corn for 2021, making the very last pass down through the field. Sarah is offloading onto a truck that's on the side of the road right now, because we're going to be pulling out of here, and I do not need to have one of them guys get the truck stuck after we have already left the field. So we're chewing our way up across the field. It's a little muddy here yet, and we've only got about 150 to 200 yards to go, and that's gonna do it. I am just about full. Got a little bit left to get in the grain tank there, and that is gonna do it. So I want to thank you for watching, folks, and we will catch you at the next one. We're going to be going right into dry corn right after I pull out of this field. So take it easy. We'll come back at you with some more here.